The other day, I stumbled upon this tweet about a Meta employee, and apparently they had over $250,000 of RSUs. They're all set to cash them out and say goodbye to a lot of their debt, which is honestly a great move, but there was a bit of a curveball for them. And it turns out their tax bill was a lot higher than they expected. They said, "Thanks for the RSUs, but why are taxes so high? Don't get me wrong, I'm extremely grateful and thanks for everything I have. Was lucky enough to be granted enough RSUs that I had about $250,000 invested, so decided to cash out and for the first time in my life be debt-free with my wife. By the time it gets to me, it's less than $120,000. That's insane." And sadly, this kind of surprise happens a lot more than you'd think. Now, RSUs can cause a bit of confusion for people. That's why in this video, I'm gonna teach you how they work and how they're taxed so you don't end up surprised like this Meta employee. Plus, I'll go through 4 things that you should think about to help lower your RSU tax bill this year and in future years. All right, let's talk about key dates here because understanding these dates will honestly clear up a lot of confusion. So firstly, when you're looking at your RSUs, there are going to be 3 dates to look out for. Number 1 is going to be the grant date. On this date, your company promises a specific number of restricted shares to you, the employee. There's no tax due on this date, and this is just a heads up of what you receive in the future if you stayed employed with them. Number 2 is the vesting date, the date when the shares are no longer restricted and they officially belong to you, the employee. The amount of tax you pay will depend on the number of shares that vest multiplied by the stock price on that vesting date. The third date that is key will be the tax year. The year your RSUs vest is a year you will be paying the taxes for. So let's make this concrete with a specific example. So on September 1st, 2022, you are granted 50 shares of Google that will vest in exactly 1 year on September 1st, 2023. So if we fast forward the vesting date of September 1st, 2023, and the 50 shares of Google stock that were granted to you last year vest and the stock price is, let's say, $100, you will be taxed on $5,000 of RSUs in the 2023 tax year. Again, that's 50 shares multiplied by the stock price of $100 on that vest date. And remember, I'm here to educate you and teach you this. It's not intended to be personal tax or financial advice. You really do need to consult your tax advisor or financial advisor for your own individual specific situation. First of all, the IRS only cares about your RSUs when they vest. So in the prior example, that $5,000 of income will be reported on your Form W-2 and is subject to ordinary income tax for the 2023 tax year. Basically, it's taxed as if it were a paycheck. That means federal taxes, possibly as high as 37% for a lot of people I work with, plus state, local taxes, and even Social Security tax. And if you hold on to your shares, that starts the clock for capital gains treatment. So any tax on the growth that happens after they vest will depend on how long you hold those shares. And before we dive into some of the ways to reduce your RSU tax bill, I want to quickly share a story. So I was talking with a client the other day who works at one of the big tech companies out there, and we were going through their RSU vesting schedule. And if you're watching this and you have RSUs, I want you to go through this exercise as well. I want you to ask yourself, if I got a cash bonus right now from my job, what would I do with it? Would you take that cash bonus and buy more of your employer's stock? Because this is exactly what you are doing when you receive RSUs. And if you decide to do nothing or hold your shares for the long term, you run the risk of paying more capital gains taxes if or when you sell down the line. All right, so let's now get into a few ways you can reduce your RSU tax bill. And I wrote a long, detailed guide on this, so make sure you check that out. That's gonna be in the show notes below, but here's a high-level overview. Number 1 is to maximize your employer retirement plan with pre-tax dollars. Number 2 is to max your HSA account, get that triple tax benefit. Number 3 is to bunch tax deductions into a single tax year. Number 4 is to donate some of your vested RSUs to charity. Now, those 4 things can help you reduce your RSU tax bill in a given tax year. And again, I wrote a detailed post for each one of those points that you should definitely check out after this video. Once again, my name is Matt. I'm a certified financial planner. And if you have RSUs and you want help or guidance with this, this is really what we help people with. So feel free to reach out to me or anyone on my team. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one.